Hi YouTube, Barry here, and today I've got a little bit of a different video for you all, both in the sense that I actually have a video, as well as this is our 1K YouTube subscriber Q&A. So you all have some questions for me, I have some answers, but before we get to that, let me just quickly say thank you so much for getting us to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I know I've been a bit neglectful of the channel itself, so I'm hoping that I can deliver a lot of content for you all, especially now that Splatoon 3 is just about here. I'm very excited for it, and I hope that you'll continue enjoying the content. But again, thank you so much for getting us to this 1K subscriber mark. It's awesome. I will also say I made the mistake of only posting this prompt to Twitter rather than YouTube. So here's the deal I'll make. Every time we add another 0 to that 1,000, when it's 10,000, and if someday it's 100,000, I'll do another Q&A, and I'll do it properly this time, posting it to YouTube so that you all can get these questions in. Now with that said, let's get to the questions I've got today. My friend Milana asked, how often do you get sunburned when you go outside? Well, that's a good question. I am obviously of a very pale complexity, so perhaps a good example would be my friend Handsome the lobster. He and I, we both burn at the same rate. However, the difference is I stay indoors, whereas Handsome has stepped outside for just 10 minutes. Were I to do that, I would look exactly like him. So the answer to that question is heavily. I burn heavily. Jaden asks, are you willing to support the Crab Tank Uprising when Splatoon 3 comes out? No, I am not. I am a simple charger main. When I see Crab Tank, I must snipe Crab Tank. Unless, of course, they put it onto, let's say, a Squiffer, classic Squiffer with Crab Tank. All right, maybe I can support it after all, but conditionally. Sleeves asked, California visit when? Sometime when California is not on fire.
Yeah, there it is.
What?
Koi says, woohoo and congrats. May you share tips to get better at chargers either by flicking or tracking? Along with an unrelated follow-up question, what is my personal record for rowing? Now my PR for rowing is pretty pathetic, so I'm going to spare you the answer to that one. However, going back to the first question, my advice for people looking to improve with chargers is always to practice. You cannot improve mechanically without putting in that time and effort, so as long as you're doing that, you should see improvements. However, something that may help you, regardless of whether you are trying to flick your shots or track your targets, is making sure that you're focusing on your positioning and your awareness. By putting yourself in good positions, that will allow you to benefit more from your fights and make it much more difficult for the enemy to actually get the spot on you. And by being aware of where all players are at, not only does it help you looking at the right directions and the right times to hit those shots, but it also makes sure that you're not going to be dying quite as much by a surprise flank. So if you combine those two things and you put the practice in, you should be hitting those flicks, you should be tracking well, and I hope that advice helps a lot.
Okay.
Soul asks, what's an embarrassing but funny moment in your life you'd be willing to share? Also, congrats man, crazy milestone. Thank you very much, Soul. And embarrassing but funny moment in my life, I think I have to go back to when I was about 3 or 4 years old. I was with my mom at this garden and plant center, right? Not too far from us. And they had this koi pond. And I'm just little old me, just wandering off, doing my thing, looking at the stuff. And I just straight up walked into the koi pond, and I was extremely embarrassed by it, but thankfully a little bit too young to remember the dread of all that. But yeah, that one is definitely up there. D_GG question. Why is it that it is like it is? Also, congrats, thank you, D. And also, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Splatdroid asks, how long have you been maining charger? Also, would you ever stop? I started playing Splatoon 1 about a year after it came out, and I probably picked up charger pretty early on into that. So I'd say I've been playing for about 5.5 years now at this point. Would I ever stop? I don't think so. Even in this kind of really difficult 1.5 years of the past meta that has not been kind to chargers, I've still gotten a lot of joy out of playing, and there's something about hitting your shots that just is always satisfying. So I think I'll be playing for a long time. In that same vein, Shadowwind asks, what made you main charger? Now that's another good question. When I started playing, anytime I ran into a JP player, if I was playing something like a T-Tech, I would hit them, 4 or 5 or 8 times, and they'd pop their Kraken or their Bubbler, and I'd be the one that died. So I quickly realized that I'd have a lot more fun playing the game if I picked a weapon that could get the one-shot kill. So Charger ended up being what I went with, and I'm so happy I did because it is so satisfying still to this day. Frosty Bits, congrats, very, very well deserved in my opinion. Well, thank you, Frosty. And also, your question, would you rather have a pet phoenix or a pet dragon? Ooh, I think a lot of people probably pick pet dragon here, but I don't think they're considering the upkeep costs of having a pet dragon. You've got to feed a dragon. They grow pretty big. I think a pet phoenix would be a lot less maintenance, right? They come back from the dead. They are reborn again from their ashes if you ever forget to water them. Why am I talking about it like it's a pet? Realistically, we're talking, would you rather have a very cool cat or a very cool dog? And I think I'm going to fall under the pet cool cat department. I'm going pet phoenix. Fair? You tell me. Alu says, congratulations, can't wait for the Splat 3 streams. You and me both, but also because it's taken me so long to record this, they're going to be upon us very, very soon. But with that said, Alu's question is, what inspired you to start streaming and how was the journey at first? Well, that's a really good question, and it's one I've talked a bit about before on stream. However, I think it's a story worth telling again. Back in 2017, 2018, I was a solo artist practicing metal sculpture, and it was very, very challenging. I was spending 60 to 70 hours a week in my studio all on my own. I had the motto, me, myself, and Spotify. And it was taking this toll on me in a lot of ways. Mentally and emotionally being very, very challenging, right? However, one of the things that really helped me get through that time was watching Milana's streams, who, if you're not following, you should go check her out at twitch.tv/Milana. She is absolutely outstanding, and I promise you, you'll enjoy your time there. But what she did for me then, just through the internet by watching her play video games, was bring me a lot of joy that I needed at that time. And it's something I'm very appreciative still to this day for, and eventually I figured that I might be able to do more or less the same for others out there who just needed a way to unwind and relax from their tough day. So that's how I got into it, and it's always been good. From the first moment, I just had fun with it. I was playing games when I wanted to and interacting with viewers whenever they popped in, and we've only grown since then. So 3.5 years later, it's still a lot of fun. And I hope for you and anyone else out there who's looking to go down that same path, that it's a very fun journey for you as well. My friend Captain Astronaut, what's my skincare routine, you ask? I don't really have one. I don't really go outside that much, so I don't see a lot of sun. But other than that, I just use a facial cleanser, probably something generic like Clean and Clear. I'm not too particular, and yeah, that's about it. I shower regularly, and I guess I got lucky in the genetics department, but other than that, that's my skincare routine. Hope it works.
Not a fan.
Smack says, congrats. Also, what's your ideal charger kit for Splat 3? Well, first off, Smack, thank you very much. And second off, that's a good question. I'm pretty pleased right now with the kits that chargers have. I think having Splat Bomb and Ink Vac especially allows for chargers to not have to worry about getting rushed down quite as much, as you can just eat up their ink and then spit it back out at them. And then E-Liter having Ink Mine and Wave Breaker is really, really strong. It provides so much information, and it's really an assist machine, so it's a lot of fun to play right now. If I had to make a different kit for the Splatter Scope, I'd probably go something like Splash Wall and Killer Whale, and for E-Liter maybe something like Burst Bomb and Missiles if I wanted to be really, really toxic. But what I'm hoping for most right now is that we get a fresh Swiffer with Suction Bomb and Zipcaster, because I think it would make for a lot of very fun plays. If not a very good weapon, very, very good for clips. Sky asks, if you had to pick between having the complex eyes of the mantis shrimp or swimming as fast as the sailfish, which would you choose, and would you use it for order or chaos? All right. The easiest question out of that is, will I use it for order or chaos? And obviously I'm using it for chaos. The question is, which one could be used more chaotically? I think swimming as fast as sailfish is really cool if you're going to do a lot of swimming. However, I am kind of not near a lot of bodies of water at the moment, so I think I'd have to go for complex eyes of a mantis shrimp. Not sure how that would benefit me. It could result in a lot of headaches, but yeah, we'll go with the mantis shrimp. Emmett asks, what do I think is the most attractive special in Splatoon 1, 2, and 3? I think for Splatoon 1, it's gotta be Inksuka. A little bit buggy, yeah, but if you could get that shot right, you could hit some absolutely gorgeous splats. For Splatoon 2, I think a lot of people would expect me to say Stingray, and it's the one that I love the most, but it's not the special that I think is the most attractive. I'd actually give that to Inkjet, kind of similar reason to Inkzuka, where if you hit that shot just right, there's nothing more satisfying, there's nothing more beautiful from any other special in the game other than that. And for Splatoon 3, early to say, but I want to say Zipcaster. I just see it being really, really fun. And again, it could be a difficult one to use, but on the right weapon, it's going to be beautiful for some clips. So attractiveness, I think those three have to take it. Cold Summer Days asks for some tips for being an adult. Well, full disclosure, I'm still learning myself, but if I had to offer just at least one tip, I would say don't stress too much about the things that you can't control, right? Things that you have control over in your life, obviously go at that 100%, try to make the best of it. But things that you don't have any say as to how they come out, don't stress about it. It's not worth your time. It's not going to change anything if you do think about it. Just let those things wash away and enjoy the things that you can actually control. Yeah, I hope that helps. Ahmed, good sir, handsome Ahmed. Congrats, Barry, only up and up from here. Thank you, my friend. My question, what would be your idea of going out with a friend to chill? There's a lot of different ways, but I think it has to involve mini golf, an arcade, and some ice cream. I don't think you can really top that. Not me, anyway. That's my personal preference. So when we going? Ahmed, when we going? Tommy. Luna says congrats, and also not related to Splatoon, but I want to know, what's your favorite pottery piece you've ever done? That's a good question. Let me go find one. Okay. Sorry, Walt. Sorry, Mike. It's hard to say. It's a very difficult question. I've made probably, 300, 400, 500 pieces in the several years that I've been doing pottery for, so picking the favorite piece is a tricky one, but for what I have on hand, I think this has to be it. I love the shape, and more than anything, I don't do this type of carving very much anymore, but the way this turned out, I just absolutely love it, and I hope it shines through on stream just as well as it does in real life, but I think this one has to be my favorite. Very good question, and I'm always happy to talk pottery, so. Panon, congrats, Barry, thank you. And will you 1v1 me in table turf battle? I absolutely will, and I will also absolutely get demolished. I am not good at the table turf, is my guess right now, and I'm probably not going to practice a whole lot. But will I 1v1 you? Of course I will. Obese Tyrese asked, how tall am I? I am 6'4" and 5/8 as of my last official measurement, which was about a decade ago, so give or take 5/8 of an inch, and that's probably where I'm at right now. Ryan asks, what is your favorite food? Once again, another question with so many choices. I'm gonna go with a very basic answer and say the homemade kind, but I'll also specify a very specific dish, which I think is probably my favorite these days. And it's a summer sandwich. It has a nice kind of crunchy bread with fresh mozzarella, tomato, sliced carrots, sauteed mushrooms, basil, and a sweet pepper jam, and it's absolutely delicious. You should have it in the summer because that's when the ingredients are best, but it's so good, and I'm getting hungry thinking about it, so I'll put that one as my favorite food for now. Tigger says, congratulations to you, Mr. Barreled. Are you planning to upgrade anything in your streaming setup? I think just about any streamer out there would want to upgrade something in their setup. For me, I'm not quite sure what that would be. In the last 3.5 years that I've been streaming, the only things I've really upgraded were my mic, my mixer, and I guess my chair as well. I think there's a lot that I could still upgrade, but I'm happy with my monitors at the very least, and I'm happy enough with my mic, so I'd probably look to upgrade my camera, get something that can show handsome a little bit more handsomely, or my computer just to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Or even better, fast, reliable internet, all at an affordable price. But Calix asks, who is your favorite singer or music artist? And there's just so many to choose from. But I think if I had to narrow it down to just one to listen to at any moment of any day, I'd probably have to pick a band by the name of Juicy Connotation. They are a band from my old school whose keyboard player I know. They are a friend and an awesome guy, an amazing musician. And their track Tree Dreams always brings me joy. So if you have a chance to listen to it, I would highly recommend it. It will improve your day. Lux asks, are you winning, son? I sure am that, I sure am. Becca asks, what is your favorite Splatoon map and why is it definitely Walleye Warehouse? Well, of course it's Walleye Warehouse. I mean, who doesn't love a map like that where you don't have turf out of spawn to paint up for a special as you're getting funneled into a whole bunch of specials? I mean, that's a fair and balanced map that everyone should enjoy, right? But if I had to pick a different map, if I had to pick my second favorite map, I'd probably go Camp Triggerfish. There's a lot of good options out there. Albacore is definitely in the running. Skipper, I think, deserves some recognition as well. But I think Camp Triggerfish for me is just such a delight as a Charger player. It's literally a jungle gym, particularly tower control. It's my most favorite map to play. It's just always fun. Mel with another question. Would you still love me if I was a worm? Sure. Max asks, would you still love me if I was a worm? Of course, Max. Absolutely, yeah. I know you would be a good worm. I'd still love you, no matter what. Lana says, what is your favorite type of bird? Question mark. Plus, why? Question mark. Parenthesis. Detailed explanation required. Close parenthesis. Favorite type of bird? Well, obviously, I think Lana wants me to answer with ducks because no bird out there makes a better fingies emote than duck fingies. However, I think I'm gonna go with peregrine falcon. Ever since I was a child, I've always really loved animals that moved really fast. So for land animal, that was cheetahs. For birds, that was falcons and hawks. And so I think it's gotta be peregrine falcon, despite the lack of fingy opportunities.
Yep, and then behind me is a red folder.
Starfire asks, if you could revisit any childhood memory, what would it be? There's just so many choices, you know? I think I could go back and play Double Dash with my mom. I could go to the beach with my parents and my friends. I think if I'm gonna pick one memory that wasn't reoccurring, I'd probably go with a tradition that I had at my school, which was seniors would go and visit the kindergartners of that year. And during that, the kindergartners would show what they've been working on. They'd show some art. The seniors would ask them some questions. And I vaguely remember being in kindergartner and going on the playground, and the senior, she asked me some questions. It was probably something simple like, do you like recess? And of course I like recess. I would still like recess. But more specifically, I remember as a senior, when I was paired up with my kindergartner, they showed me their artwork. I asked them some questions, and then we went on to recess, and I asked if they wanted to play tag, and he said yeah. And so within about 5 to 10 minutes, I had, I think, 25 or 30 kindergartners chasing me around. And they were all it, and I was the only target. So I had a lot of running to do. I think I lasted about 20 minutes or so, but without being caught. It was a really good memory. It was a really good day. And a little bit bittersweet looking back on it, just because I had spent so much time in that school, and I had very little left. But that was probably one of the best memories I've had in my childhood. And it got me out of my class for an extra 20 minutes or so, so that's always a plus. Alright guys, that was all of the questions you had for me today. Funny as they may have been, I hope they were enjoyable to hear the answers to, and of course it gives you some insight as to who I am and what my preferences are when it comes to worms and birds and whatnot. But thank you all so much for watching, and of course, massive thank you for getting us to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I really do appreciate it, and I hope we'll be able to do another one of these videos in the not too distant future. That 10K subscriber mark is definitely a ways away, but I'll try to pump out more content so that we can get there pretty quickly. Until then though, thank you all so much for the support. I really do appreciate it very much. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time guys, take care. Bye-bye.